You're listening to the East Meets West Pakistani Professional Journeys podcast, released bi-weekly every Sunday at 5 p.m. on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple iTunes. All right, welcome to the East Meets West Pakistani Professional Journeys podcast. Today we have Shahzeb Afroze, who has completed his BBA from Schulich School of Business. He's worked at companies such as Deloitte and Plotly, where he's a full stack developer. Pleasure having you on, Shahzeb.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I guess we can kick off. How was your time in Pakistan or your first experiences in Pakistan?
So I was there before my university.
Okay.
I came here for my studies. Before that, I did my O-levels, A-levels there. So I had good time with family there. Yeah, it was like the time in Pakistan, personally, it's all about like studies. You know what I mean? That's how the culture is.
Yeah.
So yeah, good memories. Yeah.
Were there any like travel places that you went to around? Were you in Karachi, Lahore, or any other part like in terms of situated?
I was based in Karachi.
Karachi, nice.
So, main city, the airport's right there. I know people had to travel from people living in Hyderabad. They had to travel a couple of hours to travel internationally. But in terms of traveling, I think I might have traveled in Pakistan maybe twice with family, but most of the time we would be traveling internationally, so like Makkah, Medina, or like Qatar. I had my cousins in Middle East, so Qatar, Dubai, and then later on, even before I came to Canada, right, I had already come to Canada a couple of times because my eldest brother was studying here, so we would be traveling every summer to Canada.
Nice.
So Canada already felt like second home in a way.
Used to it, yeah. And you also did the O levels, right, in Pakistan? I heard that's pretty intense, right? It's like the entire
Yeah, the education system here is different, like very standardized. I don't know if I like share that how education was in Pakistan with my colleagues here. They would be able to relate at all.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot. I think I'm glad that it is a very a structured, hardcore education program.
Yeah.
I think I learned a lot. It prepared me for the future. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of students here, I noticed, struggle because the shift between high school to university. There's this, at least what I find for a lot of individual or groups of friends or whatnot. But from people coming from Middle East and like Asian countries, I noticed that the studies tend to be a lot more like it prepares you really well for university, basically. So hopefully that transition was not too difficult, or was it still quite difficult on your end?
So firstly, right, again, like people joining different programs would have different opinions. Right? But personally, when I went to business school, I'd already done some like advanced A-level courses in economics, accounting. And so like, I already knew a lot of like first year courses. I already got credits somewhere. And then, so I felt I was prepared, but still I think the way they kind of test knowledge was very different compared to the British system. British system is very like structured, and you have to, the more you practice, the better prepared you are. While here, you don't have practice papers. You don't have past papers or anything like that. And you might have one or two. And the knowledge, like the way they test the knowledge is very different here. And you don't have as much time either. So which is, I guess, in general university anyway, it's a 3 to 4 month semester. While in Pakistan, it's like a 8-month, 1 year long preparation for a final paper.
Yeah.
So,
Got you. And what was your biggest struggle when you first came into Schulich? Was it in terms of the networking or the studies? I guess the studies you already touched on, but was there any initial struggles you came across, and how did you handle it that you recall?
So the first thing I just said, I was already coming to Canada before then.
Exactly.
So York University, my eldest brother went to York. I'm already familiar with the campus a bit, like the railway system, Toronto. There was not a big switch. Knowing landscape a bit, still living alone, this is a big thing.
Yep.
How to live alone, how to really be an adult. It seemed like in Pakistan, in A level, you prepare hard, you go hardcore, and in the end of the day, you have a grade. Okay, you have a grade, and you can say, okay, I got an A plus, I did well. But here, it seemed like there are people studying, And even if you get good grades, you not really land a job.
Yeah.
You have to network, and then you have to do extracurriculars. And there's this other game going on. And so I'm like figuring out, okay, how do I play all this? What
Yeah.
is more importantly, what do I really want to do? So I think answering those questions, and I was lucky that I was able to find answer to that. I would say by second year, by end of second year.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Did you do you recall joining any groups that helped in terms of at Schulich, or was it just you just based on your classes and probably like second or third connections, you were able to just get that group of people or friends?
so the thing is how it worked, at least in my time, which is it was like there's a group of international students who joined, right? So we are coming from China, Japan, so different countries.
Mhm.
And the first week, I think they do this session of only for international students. So we do some activities,
Oh, nice.
introduce to different people, some time together. The thing is, it's much easier to relate to these international students right away compared to someone already living here. So
Yeah.
they became the initial, I would say, touch point. And since we were in similar classes, after some time, they became my first core group of friends. Yeah. And
Got you.
then, yeah, they had made some friends, they had made some
Yeah. And
connections.
then you just discuss. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess moving to the job aspect, like how did you get exposed to the current industry you're working in? I know you did a BBA, you're a full stack developer. So how was that transition like? And did you know from the beginning when in university that you're doing this path, or did it change at any
So
point?
I would say like my kind of structure was a bit untraditional. Thing is like,
Yeah.
okay, first of all, like I wanted to join like an engineering program. And at that
Okay.
time in Pakistan, it was not considered the best route. In Pakistan, there was still like a big push for BBA, accounting was a big thing. Even though I think I joined university in 2016, there was already a boom happening in engineering
Yeah.
in outside countries. Huh? But in Pakistan, there was still considered like BBA, business, accounting was still considered the top professions again.
Gotcha.
But I was not able to convince my elder brother and stuff. Yeah, they
Yeah.
let me cut it out. So I joined BBA, and the thing is, I was studying, but at the same time, I felt like first of all, I felt like the program, I felt it was too easy. I was not really pushing as hard as I used to in A levels. I was
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
pretty well. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? It just feels, and at the same time, I felt like I don't know, whatever I'm learning,
Mhm.
whatever I'm learning, like how do I really apply in real life?
Yeah.
Like, for example, let's say I go to a marketing course and they teach me, okay, this is what P&Z did when they made this product, and this is how they structured the team around it. And this is all well and good. But I don't know, how do I take this knowledge and apply it outside? So I would say during the first years, I tried multiple times to learn coding by myself. So I was trying it, and I would try something and it would not stick. And again, it's just not working out. And I realized, okay, these kids, like, they're working on something. They're staying up all night and building something. They're just super passionate. It's not like they're not driven by money or anything. They just let's build something cool. Let's apply this like coding and build something. I found it like I thought it was so cool. There's something I want to be a part of. Unfortunately, since I did not know coding at that time, like me and my friend was out of any group. We were just there, just looking at people. No one really wanted us to be in that team because, well, we couldn't contribute much,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? And at that time, I realized, okay, I think I wanna be part of that group. I feel like that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I started learning coding again. The in second year somewhere, I cannot crack the code. Okay, this is how I'm supposed to learn coding.
Mhm.
And I was interning at that time, so I had an opportunity to apply some of the things I learned. Then, yeah, it went from there. And then I learned coding. I graduated. I was looking for jobs. Deloitte came up, and Deloitte, yeah, and then Plotly grow.
You mentioned internships. So, like a lot of students, they struggle in getting those internships, like even in their industry or external. Like, how was that process like for you in university? Do you remember?
Okay, first year summer came around, and you're like, okay, some people are saying, okay, if I say somewhere, no one can land an internship, but still I see by the end of by the first year, okay, there are some people who have cracked it. Okay, there are some people interning. I don't know. I don't know what the formula is. The second year summer comes around and I still haven't really landed a job in Canada. Okay. And now and again, okay, should I go back in Pakistan, spend the summer there with my family, but still not feeling ahead of my group, right? Like feeling like like everyone's competing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I want to be I want to be ahead. Like I'm feeling left behind. So second summer, what I did was I called, I called up a lot of companies. I LinkedIn messaged a lot of Pakistani companies.
Okay.
And what I realized actually when I was messaging is like Pakistani internship system, they're not open to general public. It's more, they have these programs directly with universities. And pretty much the recruitment has been done. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I will keep pushing. I'm sure I will land something. So I ended up landing a few interviews. So I landed an interview with Hardy, which was pretty cool, with TCS. And they offered me a role to go, okay, let's go with TCS. The first internship in Pakistan is 2 months long. So I interned there. And then before the internship ended, I wanted to land another one because I still had some time.
Yeah.
So I again started messaging. I landed another job, which was,
Oh, wow.
what the name of the company?
Yeah, but still, you're basically just applying, like you're just sending messages on LinkedIn and not applying through a job portal. You're just like,
Pakistan, the thing is, I know now there's this, Indeed has come and everything, but at my time, right, it seemed like Pakistan university, like they have, like companies have direct connection with universities. They go there, recruit, they open up their jobs directly to these universities and they apply. But from outside, like from someone from internet, like coming from Canada, like I did not know that. So I was just randomly calling companies,
oh, wow. Okay.
HR folks and everything.
Yeah.
And they landed a few interviews and I decided to go with TCS.
Got you. And then how did you get your exposure to, so you mentioned you worked at Deloitte. So how did you transition to that role? Was it like, what was the process like?
So yeah, and I guess one more thing I missed was the second year summer, then third year summer, I interned at Sephora.
Oh, okay.
So third year summer, I interned at Sephora. So I had some experience. I had built some projects using coding and Sephora kind of landed there. And then Deloitte, how it happened was when I graduated, COVID was happening.
Oh, I see.
COVID happened, right? So I think the thing is, I would say, like, I knew coding, I had good grades, and I was pretty confident. I'm going to land a job. I'm going to land a job pretty soon. The thing is, my confidence started going down as companies were, like, COVID was happening and they were like, shutting down roles and stuff, interviewing. If you had interviews, they were canceling it. So it was like, I think 3 or 4 months of still looking. It was summers. I was enjoying the summers. 3, 4 months still looking, but enjoying the summer. Okay, something will work out. But what happened was my eldest brother. So at his company, some folks were doing a project there.
Okay.
And my brother, like he was just having a conversation with the partner. Deloitte was working. He's, my brother is looking for like, do you have an opening in your team or anything like that? Then I think something like that. Like he had this conversation. And he told me, okay, he passed my LinkedIn to him. He reached out and he connected me with someone else. And next thing I know, I'm interviewing the next day.
Nice.
Because the thing is, I applied for that role before and I got rejected. And just a few days later, this happened. That's how that Deloitte kind of came around.
Got you. And how was that, how was that experience? Like, what were you involved in? Was it mostly just like you were jumping from client to client, or was it like you were in a set project? You don't have to reveal that much details, just like in general.
For sure. So Deloitte, it's a consulting company, right? Consulting company. My team was like there was tech and there was consulting both. Sometimes you might be coding, sometimes you might be coding and talking with clients. So I would say both. And my experience was like I had one big project for a year, or I think 8 months. And then I had smaller projects.
Okay.
2 months long, 3 months long. So it's a combination of things. I was exposed to different industries. I learned a lot. The biggest thing I learned was like the value of really templating things. Because Deloitte at core, right? Like they are solving these problems, and they noticed if you're solving a problem for a supply chain client, like another client in marketing, they can learn, they can have had similar type of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So let's template this and use it all around industries, all different departments and areas. So yeah, but that was good experience. I learned a lot, but I decided, I think I learned enough, long hours,
Yeah.
and it's time to move on to something new. Yeah.
And I guess the company that you moved on, like, how was that? How did you get exposed to that one? Was it more just like you were applying, or was it also through a connection that you came across?
So Plotly, yeah, I was just applying.
Okay, nice.
I was applying, I was interviewing, and Plotly, I kind of applied. I remember applying it during my university time for an
Oh, wow.
internship
Okay.
and not landing it.
That's very cool.
And then, yeah, life as it comes around.
Yeah.
This time that I applied, I had an interview. They were looking for someone, some web experience, like, so they were looking for this, the word they used, but they were looking for this person to have these kind of things, and they still haven't found someone for a while. And I came around, yeah, they really exceeded the interview because they really wanted to get to the finish line and someone to join the team.
Got you. And how's that general experience been so far?
I think I love it. Like Plotly, it's a company in Montreal as well.
Okay.
So yeah, Schulich is in Toronto, or in fact, Schulich is in Toronto, and Deloitte and Plotly is all over, is on the Montreal side. So I was in Montreal at that time. I was looking for for a job in Montreal. And yeah, the company has been great. Their main bread and butter comes from consulting, business, talking to these areas. And this was a smaller size company, right? Deloitte is a huge company. So smaller size company, their hierarchy is lower.
Yeah.
So yep, super smart people. And I get the space to do what I want to do at the same time
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. I think, yeah, I love it. That's why I'm still here.
And I guess for like, there's so many different roles within the field, right? So like, how did you decide full stack developer? What was that thought process? You could have been like, like I think so there's front end, there's back end, there's a bunch of them, right?
I would say not really too much context
Okay.
on, to be honest. I was applying. And yeah, so in terms of the role name itself, right, it doesn't really matter. When I entered at Sephora, for example, like they wanted someone for business, but pretty much 90% of the internship I was coding.
Okay.
Well, so it doesn't make the role itself doesn't matter. It's the time of work you do and what you achieve. So role, like I would say it might matter maybe in early years, like during school time or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it doesn't really matter too much. No one's
Right.
really saying, okay, if you're doing front end, that means you don't know back end.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess in terms of a person who doesn't have any understanding of your industry or like job, if you were to break it down, like how your role, what your task would be, how would you go about explaining that?
Okay, we are there to help clients build dashboards using our product. So what Plotly is like, we have an open source library, which is one of the top libraries on GitHub. It allows to build dashboards using Python.
Right.
Okay. Now there are more libraries out there, but we were one of the first. Like,
Yep.
on the first, and we have this open source library, and right, we have this closed source library. What open source means is readily available right now. If you go, it's for free. You can build something using the code that they publish out there. And closed sources, we have some proprietary programs, which only if someone pays us, then only they can use that code or build using those services. We are there to kind of help them build it. And let's say maybe they might be having some problem. So they might reach out, okay, we are having this problem. How can I integrate this? Or how can I build something like this? Can you help us? And we would jump on call. Sometimes we would
Oh,
build something a bit, or that's what it is. That's what
got.
that's what the expectation is for my role, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, that's the best thing I love about the company is at the same time you have a lot of space to pursue whatever you want. So for example, you wanna contribute to another team's library. You know what? Just go there and yeah, just code there. And just
Yeah.
push code there. Oh, you wanna contribute something in marketing, just hit them up. So that's the thing about startup. So The Plotly it's not a startup per se. I think it's been here for 10 years now, maybe
Yeah.
10 plus. But there's a thing about small companies. You can really do whatever you want. As long as you do the day-to-day process, your own experience,
Got you. So I guess now you've gone through all these experiences. If you were to go back in time and tell your younger self, like any advice you would give yourself in terms of how you would have navigated differently, is there any changes you would have done to get to this point faster, or are you pretty satisfied for the journey so far?
That is a very good question, right? The thing is, there's a lot I learned from business school. It's a lot of
Mhm.
I learned from the business school. For a while, I used to hate that side because I used to feel, okay, it's all irrelevant. I don't know which where you come from, but
Yeah.
I'm saying for me personally, I used to feel, okay, I don't know what to do. Like I just learned accounting from my class. I don't know what to use this for. Right
Yeah.
away, next day, I don't know.
Yeah.
But and then so I used to really look. I used to feel, oh, engineering is the thing. Engineering, I can really have a pen. I can kind of
The canvas.
But as I grew and as I kind of years passed by, I realized, okay, you know what? It really gives a business sense of things, of thinking on things, like strategically, right? Like Lockheed, for example, it's an engineering first company, very smart folks, but I think I bring another aspect from because of my experience as a coming from business. You know what? Oh, this is how marketing could be used as well, or something like that. So that's first. But the thing is, it's a very untraditional route because I come from business and tech both.
Yeah.
But the thing is, let's say if I wanted to pursue pure engineering, right? If I didn't want, it could have been more efficient what my younger brother did. So my younger brother, he went to University of Waterloo, computer science program, had similar grades as me. So I'm sure like I would have landed Waterloo as well.
Mm.
So he went there, did great internship during that time, and kind of went on to join great companies. Now he's working at Google.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing is, it's a very structured path to figure out. You don't have to really try to answer, okay, what do I really want? And you know what? Just continue working hard, just continue killing on your grades, applying job, and it will just come together. And then you can figure out what you want really. For example, oh, do you want to do machine learning or do you want to do this? You don't know, it doesn't matter. Just continue this. When you're there, right? When you have your first job, you can try to figure it out. What do I really want? But
Yeah.
you don't have to figure. But for me, I felt, do I want to do marketing? Do I want to do my supply chain? I felt the more I learned and read, the more confused I got what I really wanted. So I think it could have been more structured. Huh? It
That's
had
good to
its
hear.
own upside and it has its own downside. It's
Yeah.
more efficient in terms of time, just more efficient. So
Got you. And then for young professionals, the current climate, tariffs, there's high prices, like there's so many factors coming in. Do you have any general advice in terms of professionals that are graduating and are interested in this field? Do you have any thoughts on how to apply or navigate or any thoughts?
yeah, to be honest, I thought COVID was the worst one, but now with tariffs happening and with AI, I mean, like the Ghibli style AI animation and people who have built careers in animating, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that people graduating now, like I remember there used to be these memes, right, which used to say, okay, we are looking for someone and we're looking for a new grad with 8 years of experience
Yeah.
in this. Crazy. But then the thing now is it's getting no true. Like people, like companies have high expectation.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you need to know everything. You know how to do it AI. You need to know this, maybe don't do this. So I think the biggest thing is how to learn by yourself. I think that's something I learned, as I said, like I learned through
Yeah.
coding, like learning coding by myself. I think that was the biggest value I learned. That was the biggest thing I learned in my university, which was not by university, by myself.
Very, yeah.
So I think if you really figure that out, everything else is it's going to be much easier. So let's say you join a company or someone says, okay, we're looking for someone who's an Excel expert. You can say,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not really an Excel expert, but I've done this and I'm pretty sure I can pick this up.
Yeah.
So I think employers will pick it up. Okay, this guy might not know this, but this guy looks like he can adapt to whatever environment. So
Got you. And any habits that you developed to this point that stuck out that you've done that's led to you to this point? Like in terms of any key habits, like in terms of organization or whatever you think stand out?
Yeah, there's this again big meme going on. It's 5 a.m. You have ice water. I put it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. It's like,
That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, that's what I do. It, but all jokes aside, right? Like, the biggest thing, the biggest habit I would say, at least in my university time, was always want to apply what I had learned. Okay, I had this idea. Let's build it out for fun. There's no monetary incentive. And I think university is the best time. I think I was very lucky, very privileged in a way. Like I never had to think about okay working jobs or anything. My parents were supporting me.
yeah.
So I was just like there with no responsibilities pretty much. And I could just put my time and build whatever I wanted. So I think I'd spend a lot of time in building, learning new things. So, okay, what's ML? Oh, machine learning looks cool. You know what? Let's look into it. Let's pick it up. Let's apply it. So I was very curious I'm very curious as a person. So that's what I did. And I think
Okay.
that served me well. And I kind of continue to read like different like strategy, business, marketing,
Yep.
whatever. Just I think reading, learning new things here.
Got you. I think this is the last question here. I feel it's one of the harder ones. So how do you define success? You could go both professionally, personally. You could do any way you want.
Gotcha. I think it took me a while to really think about this because I really feel like success is financial freedom.
Yep.
I think like I don't want to say like personally is this perfection. I think largely
Yeah.
financially freedom, right? Like if you are truly free, you can choose to do whatever. Like you're not doing something because you cannot survive without it. So right now, for example, you need by you I
Right.
mean I need
Yep.
I need money inflow coming in or as much as oxygen for.
Yep.
So I'm very lucky and very happy that like, I'm working in a job. If I was not paid as well, you know what? I might think, you know what? I might still do it. Let's say I had all the money in the world, all the time in the world. You know what? Maybe not 8 hours. I'm gonna 6 hours, 5 hours, but I'll still do it. So
Yep.
I think that's the biggest success I would say. Which
Yeah.
my dad, like coming from business, he achieved it. There's a question about when is it enough content, right?
Yeah.
If you just changing this red race, you're just having okay, let's continue making more. So that's another thing.
Mm.
The very basic, I think, is are you truly free? I
Yeah.
think that's really success for me.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Shahzeb. You've gone through so many different topics about your experience in Pakistan, all the way to getting to Schulich and then working at various companies in Canada. So thanks a lot for your time. And it was a pleasure speaking with you.